In this video, you are going to learn about data input technique. There are three types of data input technique, which are absolute coordinates, relative coordinates, and polar coordinates. Before we move on, let me give you a brief introduction about Autocad software as a new learner. So you can see this is a draw toolbar, modify toolbar, annotation, layers, block, properties. Okay, so you're going to focus on draw, modify, annotation, and layers. How you're going to modify the display of toolbars? You can click on this small arrow, click on show menu bar. Okay, you can see the menu bar is displayed on the top. Click on tools, toolbars, AutoCAD, and you can choose any toolbars you want to. For example, if I want to use text, I click on text. These text toolbars already appeared. If you don't want to use this, you can just click on X button. Usually in my class, the first thing that you need to know is how to set up your drawing limits, because drawing limits is very important. Why drawing limits is very important? Because drawing interface of the AutoCAD is unlimited. Okay, so how you're going to set up your drawing limits is you type on limits, press enter, specify lower left corner. You don't have to change the value. You write 0, 0, enter, and then specify upper right corner. The default value is 12 times 9. The upper right corner depends on the size of your drawing. For example, I'm going to draw this object. Look at the length of x-axis. Given the value is 7, so each grid equals to 1. You can specify the length of x-axis 10, and for y-axis you can estimate as 10 also. So the size of your drawing limits equal to tens times tens. But in AutoCAD you will have to type as 10, 10. Okay, so you write down 10, 10, enter. You didn't see any changes in your drawing interface. You have to type grid display, enter. Now the value of the grid display is 3. The whole drawing interface display the grid. You want your drawing limits, only your drawing limits is displayed with the grids. So the value you must change to 2. As you can see here, there's a changes in the drawing interface. You can see this is the drawing limits that you have specified. For a clearer understanding, you can set the size of the grid as 1, because now the default size of the grid is equal to 0.5. Now you can type 1, so that you will understand each grid size is equal to 1. So when you count y-axis, count the grid, the numbers of grid, it is equal to 10, and for y-axis it is also equals to 10. Let's move on to the first technique of data input, which is absolute coordinates. Okay, so I'm going to erase this first. The starting point is already given, which is 0, 0. Okay, now we move on to point B. Point B, for absolute coordinates, okay, you look what is the value of x and y. Look at the coordinates point. Okay, for B, the value of x is equal to 0 and the value of y is equal to 1. Okay, so the answer will be 0, 1. Okay, so you write down the answer. Okay, for point C, look at x-axis. The value of x-axis is equal to 0, 1, 2, equal to 2, and the value of y-axis is also equal to 1. So the answer will be 2, 1. Now we move on to D. Value of x is equal to 2 and the value of y is equal to equal to 1 plus 6 equal to 7. 2, 7. Okay, let's try this first. The command is line. You click on this line or you type L. Press enter. Specify first point. The first point will be 0, 0 because it's already been given to you. Enter. Okay, now we move on to point B. Okay, for AutoCAD to understand your commands for creating a line, you have to type hashtag, then followed by coordinates point. Okay, point B equal to 0, 1. Enter. Okay, move on to point C. Hashtag 2, 1. Next point will be point D. Hashtag 2, 7, and so on. So your task is you find all the coordinates point, absolute coordinates point for this object. Okay, you look what is the value of x and y. Okay, can we move on to relative coordinates? This is a bit tricky, but actually if you understand absolute coordinates, then relative coordinates will be easier. Okay, so I'm going to use the same example. So I will change the color, change to red color. Okay, absolute coordinates, absolute coordinates, this is the commands look like. Okay, you type in hash and the value of x and y coordinates point. But for relative coordinates, the command will be this form: alias the distance from the previous point of x and the distance from the previous point of y. Okay, so let me give you one example. For point A, the coordinates point will be the same because it is already given 0, 0. Now we move on to point B. Okay, remember the format. The format is alias. Alias. Okay, what is the difference between the previous point of x value and point B? So you look at this x value at point A and look at the x value on point B. If the value is equal, there is no difference, then you write down 0. Then for y value, okay, for y value, you look on y value on point A and y value on point B. So the difference is equal to 1. So the difference is actually equals to the distance. Look. So you write down 1. So this is the answer. Don't forget to write down alias 0, 1. Okay, maybe you still don't understand. We go to next point, which is C. Okay, what is the value of x? Is there any difference between the previous value of point B and point C? Okay, the previous point is point B, x is equal to 0, and for point C, x is equal to 2. The difference is 2. 2 minus 0 is 2. So the answer will be 2, which is actually equal to the distance between B and C for x exists. Okay, so the value of y, you look at the previous point of y, which is at point B it is equal to 1 and point C it is equal to 1. So there is no difference, means it is equal to 0. Okay, so the answer will be alias 2, 0. If you're still unclear, then we move on to point D. Okay, point D. Okay, alias. Okay, what is the point of x? Now look at the difference between x value at point C and x value on point D. Okay, so this is x value of point C and this x value of point D. So it is the same, no difference. Then you write down 0. Okay, and the y value, actually it is already given the answer here. 7 minus 1, it is equal to 6. Okay, so alias 0, 6. Okay, so there are important things that you need to know when you are doing relative coordinates. Okay, it is depends on the directions of the line you want to draw. If the direction is going up, then all the numbers will be positive, and if the direction to the right, all the numbers is positive as well. But if the directions of the line you want to draw is heading to the left, then it must be in negative form, and if it's heading down at the bottom, it is also negative. Okay, we look at the example. For point E, okay, we must write down alias. Okay, what is the value of X? You look at the absolute coordinate points. Okay, you identify the absolute coordinates for point E first, which is 0, and y-axis will be 7. Okay, so the value of X at point D is equal to 2, and the value of X in point E is equal to 0. So the difference is 2. But because the direction is heading to the left, so you need to write down negative 2. Okay, negative 2. And for y value, it is equal to 0 because no changes. It is 7 and 7. Okay, we move on to, because I want to show the example of the direction going down. Okay, F equal to 0, 8, okay, G equal to, this is absolute coordinates point, okay, equal to 7, 8. Now we want to use relative coordinates for point H. The direction is going down. Absolute coordinate point for H is equal to 7 and 5. Now the relative coordinate points for H is alias. Okay, X value, look at the X value for the previous point, which is point G, 7 and 7, there's no changes, so you write down 0. And for the previous point, for value of Y is 8 and point H is 5, so the difference is equal to 3. So this is the difference actually, so you have to write down negative 3. Okay, so that is the answer. Okay, negative 3. Okay, this is the answer of H. H is equal to alias 0 and negative 3. Okay, the rest you can do it by yourself. Let's see whether this command, this relative coordinate is working or not. Okay, I will use different color, which is yellow. Okay, you click on the same command, which is line, enter. Again, the first point will be the same 0, 0. Okay. The second line will be alias 0, 1. Second point, point B, is equal to alias 2, 0. Third point, 0, 6. Okay, you can proceed after this. Your task is you find all the relative coordinates of this object. Okay, you complete this table. Okay, the last or the final techniques in data input is polar coordinates. So actually you have another technique, which is random point and dynamic input, but we focus on these three techniques. In AutoCAD, we have this angle. We start from 0 degree. In anti-clockwise direction, 90 degrees, 180 to 70 degree until 360. Okay, so 0 and 360 is at the same position. Okay, when you're writing a command, if you're using polar coordinates, the command will look like alias, distance, and angle. Okay, let's start from point A. Point A is already given, so it is 0, 0. Now we move on to point B. Okay, point B. If we want to find the angle for point B, because distance we already know, the distance for point B is equal to 1. We will take directly the value of the distance from point A and point B. But the problem is how we are going to find the angle. What is the angle? To find the angle, we need to look at point A, the previous point. Okay, for you to understand, then you need to redraw the angle at here, the position of the angle. Okay, so this is 0 degree and this is equal to 90 degrees. Okay, look carefully. You want to draw a line from point A to point B. You will start from point A and you are heading up here to point B. Means the degree is equal to 90 degree. Okay, so we will just take directly this value. So the answer will be 90 degree. Okay, now we move on to point C. Okay, point C, alias, okay, the distance from B to C is 2. angle. Now angle, what is the angle? Okay, for you to understand, so I'm going to erase this one first. Okay, you want to draw point C, you must look at point B to find the angle. So draw the angle at here. You just redraw. So this is 0 degree, this is 90 degree. Okay, so from B to C, you are creating a line from left to right. So the angle is 0. Angle is 0. Now we move on to point D. Point D is alias. You type in the distance, which is 6. The distance from C to D is equal to 6. And angle. Okay, angle, you draw again the position of angle. Okay, this is 90 degrees. 90 degrees is heading up, means you want to create a line from C to D. You are creating a line like this, heading up, means the angle is equal to 90 degree. Okay, so I hope you understand about polar coordinates, but I want to give you one example. If you want to create one line from point, for example, this is point C and this is point D, and the distance is given as 5. Okay, and angle is given, it here is equal to 30 degrees. How you are going to draw line from C to D? The answer, if you write this answer, alias 5, angle 30, so this is wrong. Okay, so you have to draw the position of angle at the starting point of your line is C. So you have to draw the position of angle at here, and don't change its position. It must be starting from 0 anti-clockwise. Okay, so this is 30 degrees. 90 minus 30 degrees equal to 60. Okay, this is 90 degrees. 80 degrees, 180 degrees. Okay, so the angle is alias, the answer is alias 5, distance and angle is equal to 150 plus 60. That is the correct answer, which is equal to 240 degree. Okay, so again we write down the answer for point B. Point B is equal to alias 1, angle is equal to 90 degrees. Point C is equal to 2, angle is 0. Point D is equal to 6 and angle is 90 degree. Okay, so come we try to draw it in AutoCAD. Now I'm going to use different color again. We'll try green color. The same command, which is line. So the first point is 0, 0. Second line is type in alias 1, and this is the symbol of angle. It is compulsory to type in equal to 90. Next point will be alias 2 angle equal to 0. Alias, next point 6, the distance is 6, angle will be 90 degree, and so on. You can proceed until you complete the object. So now your task is to complete all the coordinate points here in the table. You complete it, and I hope you understand about our class today. Thank you. If you have anything to ask, then you can just PM me directly. Thank you, class.